everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you guys so much for stopping by. It's your girl and I have been recording. So I took a little bit of a sabbatical and of course I'm back with this bad hair and this bad hair day, trying to make sure that I pump out some videos because I've been waiting to talk to you guys about a lot of things for a very long time. And I want to make sure that I keep all of my videos within a particular timeline, even though I notice that it really doesn't matter within a certain time frame how long my videos are for most of my audience. So I just want to thank you guys for sticking with me. And today this evening, this is my last one for the day because I'm recording two. This is my second video for today. Who am I kidding? I recorded 3 today, so you're gonna see this one as it uploads. I have to do some editing to this, but anyways, I'm gonna be reacting to another video in real time because it's a topic that I've been reviewing and I have some opinions about this as it pertains to the Western um, overall perspective when it comes to things like the things that we've discussed, such as um, DINKs. So dual income, no kids, population decline, parenting, and women finding love and settling. Are we ready to have this conversation? Because this has been the buildup that I have been waiting to get on board with you guys about for some time. And as we start to slowly approach the end of the putting together of my documentary coming soon at the end of this year in the fall, we need to have a conversation about the context of this topic. Looking at a country that is maybe familiar, you may be familiar with the situation there, or you may not be, but I hope that this sheds some light of the possibilities of what the rest of the world can look forward to when it comes to the disconnect of in the dating market as we see it. Women are starting to dominate the dating no, women are starting to dominate the workplace, and women are also having more and more access to jobs, opportunities, and because of this, as a result, putting off marriage and having children altogether. Now, I have always been of the impression, as of very recently, to be honest, for the past, I would say the past 5 years, I've been of the mindset that I don't really feel comfortable and that this might be a little bit of an issue. The background as to why I feel that way, I've discussed on my channel. If you guys have followed me on other platforms where I discuss, my birthing experience and other experiences from other mothers, you will know that this is, it was eerie to have a child in a place where I was one of 3 women that day having children. That was 5 years ago. Now, fast forward to now, we're starting to see a very rapid decline in populations worldwide, including the United States and Germany, Italy, France, Poland, Russia. Every single time I talk about this to people, this is the kicker before I start the video. Every single time I talk about this to people, they seem to be completely shocked, bewildered, and in denial. Like, they fight and say that's not true. We are too many people on planet Earth. They do not believe that this is a real thing. And so let's take a look at what is happening to a country that is aging out. So the people in this country buy more adult diapers than they do children's diapers. The population is so old that they have closed down schools all over, and it is actually not unique to the East at all at this point. So I'm going to be reacting because I've watched a few documentaries, as you can see in my playlist beside here. I've watched a couple of documentaries already on this topic, but I just want to give you guys a gist as to what it is that's going on and what we have to look forward to.
For nearly 3 years, Yuto Onichi's world was his bedroom. He slept during the day and lived at night, trawling the internet and reading manga or comics. Yuto refused all contact with friends and family. sneaking out only in the dead of night to eat. The Japanese call the condition hikikomori.
引きこもるっていう生活を
Once you experience the hikikomori lifestyle, you lose reality.
何にも考えない。
I knew it was abnormal, but I didn't want to change. It felt safe here.
In junior high, Yuto had failed as a class leader, and to cope with the shame and judgment from others, he withdrew into his room. For Yuto and as many as 1 million Japanese, the pressure from families and society is too much to bear.
Now, maybe you guys don't know exactly the population of Japan right now. It's roughly about 130 million people, I think. I'm not sure. 1 million of that would actually be considered 1%. In hindsight, 2020, that might not seem like a large number when you put it that way, but this number at this point in time is currently growing, and it is a phenomenon that we also hikikomori is a phenomenon that doesn't have a name in America, but is something that we can also see is happening. Men going their own way. If you guys have not checked out that episode, please go ahead and do so.
両親が外に出ていけと。プレッシャー
In Western societies, if one stays indoors, they're told to go outside. In Japan, they're not. Our play has changed. It's all on screens and not real life situations anymore.
甘えの文化もあるので
There's cultural reasons also, a strong sense of embarrassment and an emotional dependence on the mother.
This group of hikikomori have just come out of their rooms. They're in therapy to rebuild communication and trust.
どんどんって言われることぐらい不自由なんだ
Some have been in their rooms for a decade, so just to talk is a major achievement. And there are small victories here.
Some people have been in their rooms for 10 years.
This woman bought her first t-shirt. But the prognosis is not good for most. The longer they've been in their rooms, the less likely it is they'll get back into society. Yuto Onishi has been out of his room for 6 months. Early intervention worked for him.
なかなかできないことだと思うんですけど、やっぱり
Facing your trauma is horrifying. It's hard to do.
楽しさに変えてくれると思うんです。
If you can do it with somebody else, it can be
自
fun.
分の
And then you can surely see a vision for the
将来
future.
とかビジョンが
And coming to this school that specializes in teaching hikikomori kids has kept him on the outside.
いろんなこう未来って浮かべると思うんですけど、
Once you become hikikomori, you can't see a future. So the first step is to show them a future they can be satisfied with and
未
accept.
来を見せてあげて、
All right, guys. So if you want to check out this small documentary or check out some others, I will link a few videos for you guys to check out in the future in the description down below. The reason I brought this up as an example of what is happening in West, and I have not actually did my research or not, I have done my research, but I have not checked out any videos specifically on this theme that is directly related to the West, because the writing on the wall has, well, that's not true. I've actually done some research. In the West, it is called men going their own way, or reclusive, neurodivergent, reclusiveness. There are many names for people who are experiencing some social anxieties that is as a direct result of having not found a place in society for them. Back in the earlier in societies, we had families, women had children, women had their networks, and now that we are increasingly becoming a little bit more individualistic, we are seeing loads and loads and loads, and this is not news to anyone. We're seeing loads and loads of people that are feeling more and more disconnected from societies because they're not pushed into situations, or nothing is available for them to feel the level of acceptance that was once there before. I honestly will say that while this has a name and a cultural dynamic that is specific to Japan, what I have seen in some of the numbers is its decline I believe, this is my hypothesis, that the decline in motherhood and childbearing, so the birth rate of countries, some of which took place the same year. Like, for example, what is happening in Japan started around the same time in Germany. And so what we have seen is a very, very similar trail downward when it comes to the birth rate. I feel like those things are very, very, very much connected. And it has had a similar impact, maybe a few, roughly 5 years apart with America. Now, if you are in America right now and you are noticing what is happening to the to communities and populations around you, you will see something very similar when it comes to the movement of men going their own way. I'm not going to take side and blame and say this is women's fault, but I will say that um, we have yet to see what can happen on a well, actually, we are already seeing and have been seeing for the past 30 years, if we can connect the dots closely enough, what happens when men become more and more isolated. Now, in America, the situation or the results of that isolation has been manifested in a very, very different way. And I don't want to get into those ways in this video because it is extremely controversial. But I will say that it's complex yet quite simple as to what some of the remedies need to be when it comes to resolving the issue of men and people who are being isolated and disconnected from their societies and communities. Living in larger cities absolutely has an effect on the way people are able to cope with feeling isolated and not having to feel like they're connected. And I think that men at the moment are suffering the most for that because they're being cornered out of the market by a small group of men who are able to exercise more options than just regular men, because women's standards have raised because women are able to compete with men in the workplace, therefore not actually necessarily needing to get married and have children because they can be self-sufficient at this moment. However, what we have seen in countries like China is that women want to be married but wait too long, and Chinese men are not interested in dating women who are over 25. Now, the situation is also in America where there are a couple of dynamics that are taking place with women where they are completely disconnected from their reality of who it is they can date versus who it is they want to date. And that disconnection is having them wait so long that they wait themselves out of the dating market, having to just, I don't know, die alone with a dog. Now, why are these issues super important? We're going to get into that in the next video. I hope you guys can stick around and let me know what you think about this topic, because while this issue is being called hikikorimori in Japan, we know this name and phenomenon in our own communities at whatever name it is being called ourselves. And so we need to be able to have more open conversations, to have men included more in society, and make sure that we are a little bit more empathic and sympathetic, because there are lots of very, very, very awful things that we are already starting to experience that can happen when men are not feeling like they have a place or purpose in society or even in their own lives. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this little brief tidbit of information commentary. I hope to see you guys in the next one. And please make sure to stay safe and stay free. And thanks for stopping by. I hope you guys are okay. I'm getting a little peckish. Oh, yeah.